support.
The maestro, please!
Not a bad start to November. A few new things to talk about. Nothing in the new top 5, though. This'll be for the week of
November 6th. 2021.
On this day in music back in 1956, the Nat King Cole Show debuted on NBC. It would become the first variety program to be hosted by an African American, that being, obviously, Nat King Cole himself. I know the Piano Guys came out with a new thing. That's probably gonna get up here eventually.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
This is quite the find, a live version of John Coltrane's A Love Supreme. The only other live edition that we have is from 1965's Jazz à Rouen Festival in Antibes, France. This was found by saxophonist Steve Griggs after going through the old stuff of Joe Brazil, another saxophonist who passed in 2008. So for all those John Coltrane fans, you're gonna want to grab this.
Singing.
Studio album number 15 by Duran Duran, and oddly enough, unlike a lot of the albums we've talked about recently, the lyrics for all of these songs were written before the pandemic. However, John Taylor felt that they were particularly representative of what's been going on for the past year and a half. After going over all the anniversary editions for the Beatles, now it's time to go over the 40th anniversary edition of the Rolling Stones' Tattoo You. The entire album has been remastered. On the deluxe edition, you get a bunch of deep cuts featuring some rare covers, and on the super deluxe edition, you get the entirety of Still Life, Wembley Stadium, 1982. The only new thing to pop up on this chart was Wale's Falarin 2. I don't know if it's gonna get to the top 5 considering what he's up against right now, but if you're a Wale fan, you can check that out. Don't know how many fans from Australia we have, but if you're from Australia, you probably already know about this album. Studio album number 4 from Rufus Du Sol, and it was nominated for Australian Album of the Year at the J Awards this year. So if you're even remotely interested in this, I highly recommend you give it a listen.
And now I need some help from the maestro, please!
Got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about.
The nominations are starting to trickle in for this. So far, we got Album of the Year at the People's Choice Awards and Favorite Pop Album at the American Music Awards. Let's see what other nominations it can get, and let's see what awards it can win.
Feel it, I'm gon' dial, yo. All alone and by myself. Alive, got birth from life support.
One thing I didn't mention when this was at number 1 is that he got this number 1 album while he was incarcerated, making him the 3rd rapper to get a number 1 album while he was in prison, the other 2 being Tupac and Lil Wayne.
Can you kiss me more? We're so young, boy, we ain't got nothing to lose.
Working its way back up here, since we last talked about this in September, a new single was released from it. On October 1st, Woman became the 4th single from the album.
I think I'm gonna stay right here tonight, cause I could be dangerous. Cause I could be dangerous.
And here I thought we were finally done with this.
I'm feeling too sexy to accept requests. Way too sexy. And I'm way too sexy to go unprotected. Way too sexy.
Despite it being up here since it was released in September, and despite it being Drake, and despite the word certified in the album title, it is yet to become certified. Gold anyway. Interesting things to listen through this week. Some older rock artists, some even older jazz artists, and even a dance album.
And now I need some help from the maestro, please! Maestro!